Hey guys, welcome to another video for the online career and life coaching group. I wanted to talk to you today about the power of morning routines. This is a companion video to the podcast episode that I did on the power of morning routines with Megan Lyons. I wanted to film this quickly and talk more about the power of morning routines and give you some additional resources that you can use and apply some of the things that we talked about on the episode in your life, your personal life, to see better results. To start off, I wanted to talk a little bit about why it is important to have a morning routine. The reason it is important to have a morning routine is that we are really busy nowadays in life, running around and going to work, having extracurricular activities, perhaps even going to school, and we are pulled in all different directions, left and right. We have a ton of things that we do during the day that really cause our body to of course get tired, but also our brains and our minds to be filled with thoughts and sometimes not always positive thoughts of the negative kind, but also what I would call preoccupations of life. So things that you maybe things that you have to do in the short term, things you have to do in the long term, responsibilities, and you start thinking about all those things, and it can push you to be in a certain state of mind that can negatively affect you. And that's generally what causes stress. That's generally what causes us to worry or think negatively, because the more thoughts you have, the more likelihood that you won't be able to, you come to the realization that you won't be able to control every single thought that comes through your to mind. And some of the things that you may have to do in life, you may not have control over. And our brain is really good at trying to resolve problems. And when we have so many thoughts and so many things and to-do lists and checklists and things to do, it can get to a point where you become overwhelmed, and that's really what causes stress. And of course, stress is physically bad for your body. So when you generally exercise, you give your body a break so that you can let your muscles relax and rebuild themselves. Because really, what exercise is, and I'll tie this to the power of morning routines in a minute, but I want to explain how this relates to your mind and why the morning routines are important. So when you exercise, what you're doing in a sense is you're really breaking down your muscle fibers. You're literally destroying your muscle fibers, but in a good way. When you stop exercising and you're resting, the cells in your body will actually try to fix those broken down muscle fibers, which is why you gain more muscle mass, because your cells will go in and fill the gaps and fix the holes and give you more muscle. So the more you exercise, generally the stronger you become. So now, similarly to the brain and the mind, when you use your brain every single day and you think of all these stressful things that you have to do, your brain gets to a point where it has a lot of toxins that it's processing, which is why we need to not only rest by sleeping, but also take times throughout the day where we actually bring our minds at peace. And that's where morning routines come into play. That's where you actually have a chance, besides sleeping, to actually relax your brain and let your brain just kind of let go of the thoughts, the negative thoughts, and the things that are really filling it in and getting you preoccupied and getting you stressed. So morning routines are a way for you to not only ground yourself, but also to reset your brain and your mind so that you can actually focus on things that are more positive and actually be able to hear yourself think. Now, what types of morning routines should you be doing? The most effective morning routines are the ones where you actually get in a state of meditation. What I mean by that is it doesn't necessarily have to be straight on meditation where you're humming and chanting mantras. No, it just means that you are putting yourself in a situation when you're getting to slow your thoughts down, slow your physical activity down, and think of nothing else but perhaps something relaxing or one thought. So And so the types of morning routines that work well generally is meditation, meaning you can perhaps in your morning routine find a quiet place in your home or someplace else where there's very little noise, there's very little activity, where you can sit down and just relax. You don't move, perhaps close your eyes and then just relax. Breathe in and breathe out. So one of the effective things that you can do beyond meditation is to do things like yoga, to do things that really relax you. So, and to a certain extent, you can actually do exercise as a way as a morning routine, if you will. Because exercising, at least when I exercise, I get to read. I don't think of anything else but what I'm doing. So, and to me, that's a certain type of meditation in a way because I'm not thinking about anything else. I'm just thinking about the exercise that I'm doing. So my mind is free of additional thoughts. Another example is using cooking, for example. I love to cook because when I do it, I am relaxed and I'm just focused at the task at hand. So it's really anything that gets your mind to focus on one thing and one thing only and allows your body to ideally to relax. So meditation where would be ideal where you sit. Prayer also works because when you pray, you are generally really trying to transcend the physical things around you. You're trying to go beyond the physical things, so the noise, the things around you, the cell phone, the TV, the entertainment. So you are shedding yourself and setting yourself free for a moment from all those physical things, so materialistic or material things around you. What that allows you to do, it allows you to connect with actually yourself and to think deeply about how you fit and how you matter in this vast universe. And it also allows your mind to just slow down. And that is the type of routine that you would want to do ideally to allow you to truly meditate and relax. Now, on the podcast, we talked about things like journaling and listening to music. So those also could count. So journaling, the reason why it's important is it allows you to, again, focus on one thing. You are thinking about what to write in your journal, and ideally it's thoughts of the positive nature. So you could write things that you're grateful for, which we mentioned on the podcast. And when you think of the things that are positive in your life, the things that you're grateful for, you realize that maybe things are not so bad. Maybe you're not doing so bad. And that thought shifts your brain into a positive approach in how you see things, in how you see your life. And when you do that on a daily basis, you are programming your brain to continue to think positively day in and day out. And that actually conditions you to always see the positive in everything. And what that does is it allows you to manage stress very well, to manage any of those outside stressors that generally come to us. So that to-do list, work, life, children, family, and all that, and of course problems and maybe even health problems, that allows you to be really more centered. Now, when should you do morning routines? Well, morning routines ideally should be done in the morning. The reason why it's important to do it in the morning is because you are generally well rested. And if you can do it early enough in the morning, the noise level is very low. There aren't people around to distract you. So it's just the ideal moment to do it because and there's something about waking up in the morning, feeling fresh. All the toxins in your body and in your brain have been flushed out while you were sleeping. So it's really the ideal moment because you have very, very clear thoughts. You can make very conscious and clear, reasonable decisions, which is why you really should be doing it in the morning. Now, I am conscious of the fact that not everyone is a morning person. I wasn't at some point in my life. So it is okay at night, to actually do your routines. Now, if you're going to do it at night, it's ideal to do it closer to bedtime, as close to bedtime as possible. So generally, even if you can do it right before bed, you can maybe go in the bedroom, dim the lights or turn off the lights, sit on the edge of your bed, or even maybe on the floor with your back against the wall, something like that. And just maybe close your eyes and then take a couple of deep breaths and relax. So you could also, again, like I said, you could use prayer, but if you're going to do some type of meditation, one thing you could do is you could start by, and I'll have another follow-up episode video actually to talk about what you can do to in terms of breathing exercises that can help. But if you're going to do it at night, that's really the ideal way to do it, is to just slow your breathing down, relax, breathe in and breathe out slowly. Generally, breathe in and hold your breath for about 4 seconds and then release it. So you inhale for about 7 seconds, hold your breath for about 4 seconds, and then you exhale completely. So if you do that a few times, if you're wearing a Fitbit actually, or some kind of a heart rate tracking device, you will notice that your heart rate can go down by 5 to 10 beats per minute really quickly, which means that it's working. So, but yeah, if you're doing it at night, that's probably the best way to do it. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to forget all the negative things that happen during the day when you do it at night, and it allows you to reset, to go to bed with a clear mind. And it actually may improve if you have some sleeping problems. It may help to actually improve your sleep. It may help give you better sleep, if you will. Now, one tip I would say is if you're addicted to your phone, like many of us are, what I would recommend to do is to put your phone down, force yourself to not look at your phone after 8 o'clock at night. So if you can do that, that would be ideal. Or about an hour to 2 hours before you go to bed, if you can put your phone down and not look at it, that would really help in relaxing your brain. And the exercise, of course, would be the main event that would allow you to have that meditative state before you go to bed. Finally, we mentioned some resources on the podcast that you can use, and I'll refer you to some of the resources. Megan Lyons' website is a good one. She referred to an article about 10 things that you can do to improve your health under 1 minute. And it's a really good article that you can check out. I will link that at the bottom of the video here, so you can actually click on it and go directly to it. We also mentioned on the podcast a few other things. I mentioned a quote by Stephen Covey, and I put that quote in the video description down below. So if you check it out, you'll see it there. There was also mention of a book called Miracle Morning for Parents and Families, and I put a link to the book as well. So if you click on the link, it will take you straight to the website on Amazon where you can actually order that book if you want to. But just wanted to make sure that the resources that were mentioned in the podcast episode are brought up here. One more thing I will add is about a year ago, I bought a book that talks about, it's a book by Tim Ferriss. Tim is one of the people that I follow online, one of many people that I follow for my own personal development. And the book is called Tools of Titans, the tactics, routines, and habits of billionaires, icons, and world-class performers. And the book is filled with, it's 600 pages, but it's more of a journal, really. You can look through one of the pages and read on about one of the icons or one of the celebrities and what their morning routines are, the things that they do that made them who they are today, healthy, wealthy, and wise, if you will. And the book is broken down into 3 categories. So this is a good read for those who are interested in doing it. It's not something I would recommend reading in one sitting. It's more of a journal of habits and routines of successful people that you can refer to. Generally, I'll open a page before going to bed, and I'll just read maybe a couple pages or a few pages on someone and what their morning routines are. So anyway, this is an additional resource that you can check out. I will link it to at the bottom of the video in the descriptions. So that's really what I wanted to cover today, and I will see you next week for another episode on the online career and life coaching group. Again, thank you guys very much for joining the group. Thank you for watching the video. And of course, if you know someone who could use a morning routine or who could use the video and learn something from it, forward it to them, and of course the podcast as well, and invite them to the group, and I'll be more than happy to approve them as members. Thank you very much. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you in on the inside for another video. Thank you. Bye.